So with the White Lotus, we always know we're about to get into a mystery, a lot of fucked up things with fucked up people, and this season is no different. So we're in Thailand now. That's where Mike White has taken us with the White Lotus, and we have a group of people we're following. We have a man who comes with a very young woman who even is confused as her dad at some point, according to her. We have a family that seems to be the perfect Southern family. Then we have a group of friends who don't seem to be a group of friends really, and we also have the workers of the establishment, the White Lotus, and some old familiar faces, and one in particular I was not expecting. So let's get into it all. By the way, we are going to be covering the White Lotus every single week, so every Sunday we'll have a video out for you, just like we're doing with Severance on Thursdays and we're doing with Yellow Jackets on Fridays. So we're on our TV era right now. But let's get into the White Lotus season 3 episode 1, which starts off like all White Lotus starts off. A dead body shows up. We see that a young man is having a meditation session, and then it is interrupted by some gunshots. Now this young man, we figure out at the end of the episode, is actually Belinda's son, who is one of the employees from the White Lotus season 1 back in Hawaii that we saw. And I thought that was such a great way to start to interconnect these world, of course, as the White Lotus is this retreat, right? Now, it's a chain retreat, of course. She has come now to Thailand to learn the secrets of Thailand and bring them back to Hawaii and sort of give a new experience of sorts. Well, we don't see Belinda just yet. So these gunshots are going on as her son is there doing a meditation session. And as he goes into the water, he sees that there is a dead body now floating face down. Don't know who it is, but we'll know by the end of the season, right? We have now gone a week earlier as the tourists start to head toward the island. There is the young Chelsea, who is played by Aimee Wood, and her older boyfriend, who is very grumpy, I might add, played by Walton Goggins, named Rick. And we see that he's like sort of going through some stuff as well, and he is there more than just to go on a retreat or a wellness like retreat of sorts, because this whole thing about the White Lotus is it's a wellness place to come and sort of let go of your worries, get these like facials, do meditations and things like that. He's not really there for all of this, unbeknownst to his young girlfriend. He is there because he wanted to get a hold of the owner's husband for whatever reason it may be. We still don't know just yet. And when he finds out that he's not there, that's when he starts to lose his shit even more than he already did. Now we also meet the Ratliffs, who are the Southern family who have come to Thailand because one of their kids wants to interview a monk that is there for her college. So the Southern family consists of the dad Timothy, played by Jason Isaac, who is this high-powered finance executive who also has his son on payroll, Saxon, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. And we also have Parker Posey here playing as Victoria, who is the wife of Timothy, and she has this very distinct Southern accent that really does make it that much more funnier. In here you also have Piper, the daughter, played by Sarah Catherine Hook, as well as the young son Lachlan, played by Sam Nivola. You quickly see there's like this whole dynamic between the siblings where Saxon really is the one that wants to run things. He's kind of weird to his siblings a bit, which we'll talk about as well. And he is like on a power trip of sorts. He really thinks he can go out there and take whatever he wants and who he wants, as we see it evident in the pool area when he's trying to hit on several women and it's not really working. But in his mind, it's gonna work, as he tells his younger brother Lachlan. Now Piper is there because she really wants to sort of come into Buddhism. We hear it in the teaser as well that she is a Buddhist, she says, and that she wants to sort of bring herself more into this world, and that's why she's there to interview the monk. And Saxon believes that she is just doing all of this because she wants to like take herself away from life's pleasures. And it's kind of weird the way he kind of words it as well, I will say. And he's saying all of this to Lachlan, saying, don't be like our sister, she's just weird. Be more like me, be more aggressive and assertive, and take what you want and what pleases you the most. And then he just like gets up butt naked in front of his brother and does all of these things. I'm just like, this guy's weird. This guy's weird. Now on the other side of things, you have the mother Victoria, who seems to be taking a lot of different pills or alcohol or whatever, just sort of dozing off in between these talks. Really much so an absent parent. You then have the father, who is getting into some weird shit shit, because it seems that some things he did a while ago is starting to catch up to him with one of his partners, as he gets a call from the Wall Street Journal that they're going to be running a story about something that him and a partner did a bit ago, and he starts to really panic about this. So we're not entirely sure what this could be, but it seems it's something that could totally ruin him and even send him to prison, as he says in the teaser for the upcoming episode that he is not going to do that. So we see that he's going to really go through some shit during this season for sure. So this family that we thought, or they assumed everybody thought was a perfect family, looks to be in some pretty weird stuff, hot water with the law, and also just a very distinct relationship that I don't think a family should have. We'll talk about that in a bit. Now, on the other side of things, our other group that we have is a girls group, which consists of Jacqueline, played by Michelle Monaghan. You have Kate, played by Leslie Bibb, and Lori, played by Carrie Coon, who are our childhood friends that have gone on a reunion trip to sort of get more in tune with one another. Now, we see that they all have these very different ways of seeing one another as well, these three friends, where two of the friends are actually a little bit closer than maybe the other friend, and it's starting to be very, very evident, and we see that one of the friends really isn't vibing with the other ones here. So Jacqueline and Kate are the ones that are just gushing over one another, talking about how they look incredible, how they're just like really great friends, and they always talk about one another to other people, while you see that Lori is just there, not really like vibing or being acknowledged by the friends at all, which kind of makes things a little bit awkward as well. Now, Jacqueline is a successful television actress, and she is the one who's paying for everything. And also we see that Kate is married to a businessman, so she's kind of has it pretty easy as well. Lori seems to have been climbing the corporate ladder, which can be pretty brutal, I might add. So we kind of see that Lori is in a different bubble world of sorts compared to her friends. Jacqueline and Kate bonding over several things, whether it's plastic surgeons or their own accomplishments, but don't really bring Lori into the conversation at all. And that pretty much catches up to Lori, who just heads off to her room as she sees her two friends just very happy with one another, and she's not really there or can like be in the presence of them without feeling sort of smaller and like she's just being cast aside. It's going to be a very, very crazy season for sure. On the side of the hotel staffers, we do have the health mentor Mook, played by Lalisa Monaghan, or better known as Lisa from Blackpink, and security guard Guy Talk, played by Tayme Thapthimthong. At the beginning of the episode, we see that her motorcycle has broken down at the side of the road, and he decides to give her a lift, and he's trying to sort of shoot his shot, if you will, but we see she's not really vibing with him as much as he's vibing with her, and he kind of gets a little bit jealous when she's talking to some bodyguards there, and she's just interested in what they do. So things aren't really vibing good for them there, and I think that's going to be a big thing this season for sure as well. So pretty much this season, I think what we're going to be seeing is a couple of different dilemmas. So the first one, of course, is going to be Timothy being contacted by these journalists. And it's going to be these journalists that want to know about him and an associate named Kenneth, who he started a fund with in 2018. And it sounds like things got shady with this fund and also the government of Brunei, which they bring up as well. Timothy decides that, hey, I'm not going to tell him anything. I haven't even spoken to Kenny in years. But we immediately see that this is not the truth. He's actually able to call him up like nothing ever happened. And it seems that Timothy might be just in a lot of shit the next couple of episodes to come. One of the biggest things as well is that we see a character that Chelsea meets is a young woman named Chloe, and she says that she is not staying at the resort by herself actually. She lives at the hill with her boyfriend, who is another older guy, she says, because remember, Chelsea is with Walton, Goggins, Rick. And we see that the guy that she's actually with is Greg. Yes, Greg is here. John Green's character was the one who started dating Jennifer Coolidge's Tanya back at the White Lotus in Hawaii, then married and plotted to have her murdered and inherit her fortune in Sicily. So he collaborated with the quote-unquote evil case in season 2 in order for them to kill Tanya and end up with her money. But if we remember in season 2, Tanya ended up killing them all on that yacht, and then she ultimately did die when she knocked her head and fell washing away to the sea. So Tanya, of course, is no longer here with us, but her spirit lives on, and of course Greg is here. So it's going to be interesting what Greg is doing here as well. And I think what's going to be the most interesting part about the Greg story is that Belinda is here, and Belinda knows about Greg and Tanya and all of that. And I think that's why in the season 3 sort of teaser, we get to see that Belinda is a little bit weirded out seeing Greg. And I think it's going to be a very, very long season for Belinda. She's just trying to get like things straight. She has her son coming. She's just trying to live it up in Thailand, learn some new things, take it back to Maui. But it looks like things are going to be catching up for all our characters. So like I said, family, they're dealing with the dad's shady business. The siblings are dealing with their weird older sibling who's into weird shit, it seems. And then the daughter is trying to sort of come into her own. And we see the young son as well is kind of like not knowing where to turn or what to do because his family just all messed up. We don't know why Rick wants to see the owner, but it seems that it's going to be important that he even travels out to Bangkok at some point in the trailer for the upcoming season. So there's that right there. And we just want to know what Greg's up to now and what exactly could be happening here. So with the siblings in the new trailer, we do see that they are definitely going to confront each other. I think that Saxon will be confronted by Piper, as we see in the new teaser, as Lachlan sort of says everything that Saxon was talking about Piper to Piper. We also see in the trailer that the dad gets a call from the office that there are people from the FBI. So whatever he's doing is seemingly very bad, especially with the government and all of that getting involved. And he even says that he is not going to prison or anything like that. So that's definitely something that I'm curious, what exactly did he do? And it seems that in a week's time, that story will break out. And in a week's time is when that body was found by Belinda's son. Now, the thing with Belinda as well is that we hear from the hotel staff that Greg wants to sort of meet with Belinda. And we know that Greg knew about Belinda and Tanya, that they had a close relationship of sorts. So I think Greg is trying to find out if Belinda is suspicious or anything of that of him, especially considering that Tanya towards the end sort of had her doubts about Greg and what he exactly wanted. So I think that Greg is trying to maybe tie loose ends of sorts around here, or maybe he really did just escape to Thailand to evade any police or anything about Tanya's disappearance and death and just get away from it all. But now seeing Belinda maybe got him spooked a bit as well. I'm also curious about the relationship between Mook and the hotel staffer that is seemingly liking her, because I think in the trailer we see that he is going to try his best to sort of be more out there and even go and apply to be a bodyguard of sorts. And I'm curious how that's all going to evolve between the two of them, but very excited to see Lisa in this and seeing where she goes with her acting career as well. And also with Rick, we see that Rick in the trailer, he ends up going to Bangkok, like I said, to try and find this man. We still don't know what exactly it is he wants, but he says he has some unfinished business. So we don't know exactly what Rick does. All we know is that he's able to really keep himself like wealthy, but he doesn't really have a job according to Chelsea. So I think that really adds more mystery to his character. Like, is he some spy or assassin or something and he's looking for this man for whatever reason? We don't know, but I think we'll definitely find out pretty soon. But let me know your thoughts and your opinions on the White Lotus Season 3 Episode 1. What do you think is going to happen with the family? What do you think is happening with Rick, the three friends, and the relationship with Lisa's Mook and also the hotel staffer? Like, I think there's a lot that's going to happen with that. It's always the things that seem like don't get a lot of like light in the first couple of episodes end up being the ones we see really establish what's happening here. And we've seen that with previous White Lotus as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts and opinions below. Follow for more theories. I will have them on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. As always, I'll see you next time. Let's get the 40,000 subscribers. Stay safe, stay positive.